It's Dangerous Business Going Out Your Door by Jetfire 2012. Chapter 15. Verity stood in a great circle. She was a little foal again, a blank white child, the grown-ups towering over her. Something wasn't right. Even big ponies weren't this dark. Shadows filled the air. Big ponies didn't have legs this thin, either, and the eyes on the heads of their ends of their long, graceful necks did not gleam in the shadows, shining with power. White Unicorn's eyes fluttered open. The dream had made sense. At least, she thought he had. She had no idea what the creatures she had seen were. They had been ponies, but there had been a clarity to this dream the others had lacked. She dreamt almost every night that she had been on this long and arduous journey. A few days ago, she was wondering if it was not without cause. Still, she wondered that, as much as twilight sparkle might deride her, Rarity could not shake the feeling that her dreams were trying to tell her something. Especially this dream just now. But what? She tried to recall exactly what had happened. She recalled being a foal. Gaze drifted down to the campsite at the base of the oak tree. Applejack was snoring gently, her dark red armor piled off to one side. Far to her right, Rainbow Dash was curled up, looking extremely peaceful, with so much. "Oh my goodness!" Rarity cried, the sharpness of her voice breaking Applejack's slumber. What's going on?" the reserve pony said, rapidly rising to her hose and blinking the sleep of her eyes. Rainbow Dash yawned. "Ugh. Morning, every pony," she mumbled, using a front hoof to rub her own eyes. "Dustia, what's that on you? What's that on all of your coat?" "Huh?" Applejack said, looking a few more times. She glanced over at Dash. "Go, Rainbow, what's that?" The sky blue Pegasus stood up. Thick lines of dark blue, midnight blue, were curling all over her lighter blue coat, mending into curls and spirals along her flanks, around her wings, into her feathers, down her legs, up her neck, and on her face. It made her look wild, like some tribal artifact. She swept her rose eyes briefly over her body, seeing if anything was amiss. "Oh, these?" She lifted up her front leg. "The Proghorns drew these on me. They're to help me to control the lightning." "So, you did it?" Rarity asked, some curiosity overwhelming her. "I didn't hear you come back last night. You did it?" "Oh," Dessa's mouth curled into a smile. "I guess." She stuck out her tongue, and sparks suddenly danced across it. She retracted her tongue, spread her wings, and fanned them out. Crackles of buzzing white electricity surged through every feather. She twisted her rainbow-striped tail, and a flash of light made Applejack and Rarity blink. Dessa was fanning flat out now. "But yeah, I did it. Congratulations, boss!" Rarity exclaimed, stopping her front hose into the ground in applause. "I am positively kidding for you. I know how this must mean to you." "Nice job, Rainbow," Applejack said with a nod. "I knew you could do it." "Thank you," Dessa said happily. "Thank you, both of you. It feels good. It feels more than good, really. I want to tell you all about what happened, but I'm not sure I can describe it." Applejack reached down with her mouth and flipped her hat onto her head. "Tell it to us over breakfast, Sugar Cube," she said, trying out from the oak tree's shade into golden grass. She began to bite mouthfuls from the grass as she moved, chewing daintily. "Well, to learn lightning, I had to get my soul right, if that makes any sense," Dash said, fluffing her wings and falling behind Applejack's, very low off the ground. "I went into dreaming. Was this sort of this, She landed on her hooves, her eyes squinting and head tilting as she thought. She thought with all her might, trying to find something to say that was appropriate. Twilight would know how to describe it, she thought. Should she try to be like Twilight? But Twilight wouldn't know anything about the dreaming. Maybe she'd talk like the Proghorns. "The dreaming is kind of like, it's being." "Being?" Applejack repeated. "Being what?" "No, not being anything in particular. It's just," she scrambled to find the proper words. "The dreaming is." Suddenly she was filled with calm. "Talk about it your own way." Jazz blinked and took a breath. "The dreaming is what's always there in everything. It's what everything has in common. Everything comes from it. It's where everything goes." She gave a toothy smile. "Does that make sense?" Applejack scratched her chin with a hoof. I don't know," she murmured. "I'm like sense to a poem, but beyond that, it don't make sense." "Unless they're supposed to make sense," Dash admitted. but it's at the heart of all things, and it's connected to lightning. Lightning comes from the dreaming. So the Prog taught me to reach into the dreaming with my soul. I learned how, and now I can make lightning. Can any pony access this dreaming? Verity asked. I think they could if they knew the right way to do it, Rainbow Dash said. But it takes some time and quiet and thinking. Lightning Core nodded. So now you can use lightning, just like Firefly. Or spread through Dash's chest. Yep, just like Firefly. Does that mean you can ride lightning too? Applejack asked her. That's what you said the Progwarts could do. Dash didn't answer. She turned to the right about a few steps away. She settled back on her haunches and pointed her nose at the sky. A look of tranquility passed on her face. Racy lines of blinding light began to swirl around her. She looked back to her friends and smiled. Oh yeah! There was a burst of sizzling sound, and a crackling of white lightning rose into the air where the Sky Blue Pegasus presently sat. This is so cool! Her voice was lost in the wind as she rose higher and higher, blazing across the reins of her friend's necks. A few seconds later, a lightning bolt fizzed out, ready to kick her gaze skyward. I do hope she's all right. Applejack was looking up as well. I got a feeling she knows what she's doing, the Reserve Point said. It's not a feeling I will skip one, Rainbow. I got it now. A crackling noise began to rise in the air. A white point of white light blazed through the sky above them, growing brighter and brighter. The hairs and their manes and tails and coats began to stand on end. In the blink of an eye, the whole sky over their heads was white. There was a clap through the air. A ring of lightning spread out less than a dozen feet over their heads, sparking and snapping as they expanded more than 100 feet before fading into nothing. Where the commotion had emerged, there was only Rainbow Dash, painted in dark blue swirls, flapping excitedly. She spiraled through the air over their heads. Oh my gosh, 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 oh my gosh. Did you see that? Did you see that? I can do it! Oh wow, that was amazing. Did you know that the sky turns black when you go really high up? You can see some stars and everything, just like at night. I felt got high, but I started running out of air. It was so fast. I counted. It was less than 40 seconds. Okay, high up. Less than 40 seconds to come back down. This is amazing! She once a cheer, running in front of her friends and high-stepping excitedly. I still have trouble believing it. I did it. Now I really am the fastest fighter in all Equestria. Last point made Applejack's eyebrows rise. Sure are, Rainbow, she said. Well, that makes you might be the answer to our prayers. Huh? Well, I know she ain't missing your bells, but now it's helping us with the bed of Violet. Oh, that's getting expressed turned one of regret. You had to go deliver a message for Princess Celestia in the land of Campbell's far away. You said he had to obey her first before he could help us. You just said I could get to bed of Violet. You clown, Rainbow, don't you say? Applejack grinned. You can ride the lightning. You can go so fast as those Proudhorns. You can just blast up to the Yorkback Mountains, find the bed of Violet, get back to Twilight. But, Death staring. Hold on a minute. Was this the whole reason you wanted to come on this trip so you could help me look for the flower? You said I wouldn't know a bed of Violet when I saw one. I said that at the start, sure, the Reserve Pony said. Well, Rainbow, I chose you wrong. If you could go to some high level of being and make your soul proper to use lightning, you're certainly enough to find a purple 5-point flower. You don't even need to make it back to Twilight on the lightning. You got sailbacks now, too. We'll give you Spike's fire. You can send the Violet right back to him. I suppose it would be better to get it done now, Verity agreed, but her heart wasn't in it. There was something holding back what should have been her excitement seeing Twilight's clearer close at hand. A whisper in her heart, telling her this wasn't the right course of action. But Okay, look, Death said, lovely gaze. Before we even started this trip, I told myself that we had reached the Arkback Mountains in 10 days. I would go the rest of the way alone. And today is the 10th day. Now I can ride the lightning. I should go on alone, but Mouse groused up. I don't want to leave you two. I can't. Not after all this. Verity, Applejack, you've done so much with me. I don't want you two to be alone. Applejack gave her a tender glance. Shucks, Rainbow. Her green eyes glanced to the ground. I know how you feel. I'm a real fond of you, and Rarity too. She looked at the white unicorn. Love y'all. I mean, I was fond of y'all before. Y'all were my friends, but now I feel as though you two are more than friends now, Betty chimed in. Applejack smiled at her. That's just it. We've been true friends to be just friends now. She squared up her brothers and put on a hard face. And the whole point of this trip, however much we got out of it, Was to see Twilight sparkle. If we could do that right now, we go! Aye, Rarity began softly. And it's our rainbow eyes are letting us straight to the Arcmax, the Reserve Pony said. We take our chances there. She pointed with her right front hoof. Rainbow Eyes and Rarity turned their heads in that direction. You're very close now. This close. So very close. The Shimmerwood stood poised at the feet of the Arcback Mountains. A tapering arm of it swept out to the fields to their left. The tall, broad branches oaks and ash formed an inscrutable curtain right ahead. Its depths could not be penetrated, not even by Das's Pickett's eyes. All three ponies could see something. No, see was the wrong word. It's like they were feeling, touching with their eyes. A sensation did not comfort a slight creeping across their pupils. The forest seemed to emit a haze of rippling water, but not to their eyes. It was a haze across their mind. What place? Elzak's voice faltered. I don't know if it's right or no. It ain't no place to say, but it sure as certain ain't normal. It's like the Everfree. I want to see it, Rarity said abruptly. Elzak glanced at her. Rarity, I just said we can't waste down there! I went Unicorn reluctantly looked away from the forest. I know that, Applejack. If we come all this way, we should at least give it a look, right? We came all this way for Twilight, the Reserve Pony reminded her. If we got away before it goes through a big confusing forest to help her, we gotta take it. Well, you put it that way, I guess you're right, Des said. I mean, I can always bolt back to you girls and go back with you the slow way. Sure can, Applejack said. We'll be mighty glad of the company. Raging her with her deep blue eyes. You lot can make whatever plans you choose, but I'm going in there. I have to. What? Applejack paused, raised an eyebrow at her. Is this some sort of magic thing? Rarity paused and turned. She concentrated on her feelings, setting her mind on a pulsing, breathing power that filtered in and out through the horn on her head. I think it may be. I feel it more than I can rationalize it. Hold on, Des said. The Skyblue Pegasus unfurled her wings, purely on a whim. She fluttered her eyelids closed. Rarity and Applejack watched her in curiosity for a minute. Her eyes slowly came open. I can feel it too. I can feel it in dreaming. There's some kind of weird lightning around the forest. You don't like making me want to go in there much more, Applejack said. Well, you don't have to go in there, Rarity said firmly. I shall go. I'll go alone if I must. She turned and headed back to the campsite. Applejack and Rainbow Dash shared a confused glance. Rarity could be quite stubborn, this they were used to. But over something as unusual as a visit to the forest? Rarity, wait! Dash cried, fluttering back to the burnt-out fire. White Unicorn was using her magic to suck the air from her pillow and blanket. Rarity, hold on! I really think you should stay with Applejack. And I really think we should stick together. But apparently that's not happening, is it? Rarity snapped, noise playing in her voice. I recognize Twilight's silent need. I do. But I don't see why we can't spend even a few hours to go to that forest. Twilight's on a ticket clock, that's why, Applejack answered. You wanted to help her the most, and now you want us to waste time going to Seven Forest just because you feel like we oughta? This made Rarity stop and think. Her guilt was more than 10 days old now, so it did not sting as badly as it had at first. It was still there, however, and she dwelt on it now. She still wanted to help Twilight sparkle. She cared very deeply for the younger unicorn, so full of joy and innocent enthusiasm. Twilight didn't deserve the dying, the painful death that Hornrock caused. She at least deserved it. She found such happiness in magic that for her to be killed by mangled magic would be a vicious cruelty. Rarity was prepared to sacrifice much to save her, but something in her heart told her that the best way forward was into the shadows of the Shimmerwood. I feel as though we must for Twilight's sake, Dwight Unicorn finally said. You think that sending Dash straight into the Arcmax will save Twilight faster, but... Her thoughts swirled. I think that may not be the case. I know it's not. Unseen by any of them, her triple gemstone cutie mark briefly glowed. Elsa tilted her head back, narrowing her eyes. Rarity stared boldly at her. Her graceful brows lowered in seriousness. The Reserve Pony gritted her teeth. All right, she said. How about this? We're only about 2 hours from the Shimmerwood, by my mark. We could go there, go in a ways, see what's like inside. Maybe it's a real easy to go through. Maybe it's open on the inside. If it is, maybe we'll think about going all through it. But if it's thick and hard to see through, or if it just looks too big, we're turning around and leaving. Rainbow can ride her light into the mountains. Sound good? Verity nodded. Thank you, Tiny. Yeah, I know. The reserve point remarked. Let's just pack up and grab some breakfast on the way. She trotted over to her armor and began to slip on the first of her greaves. Fierce, what's going on? Dash said softly when Applejack had left him. Is something wrong? Verity shook her head. Dash, I must let me see this first. Chalk it up to unicorn's intuition. The Sky Blue Pegasus gave her a gentle look. I want you to be okay. I am Dash. Verity smiled. But thank you for worrying. You and Applejack can't do all the worrying yourselves, Dash said, then fluttered back to the fireside, wrapped her leather saddlebags around her flanks. Verity nodded, and was soon packing her own white velvet saddlebags. In a short hour, Applejack was armored up, and all three of them were packed. They set out, nipping off the tips of grass blades along the way. Verity once again brought up the rear. She knew now that both Applejack and Rainbow Dash bore tokens of their journey. Applejack wore the dark red armor of Glidedale. Dash was covered in dark blue sigils of the Pronghorn Network. Perhaps I'll be accessorized as well before the journey is done, she thought to herself. Yet a glance ahead drove all thoughts of fashion out of her mind. The Shimmerwood loomed closer and closer. She sped up, galloping faster, wanting to see it all the more quickly. Trees ahead were now blocking out the mountains, rising with dark trunks to a canopy of wild, radiant green. It was the same green Rarity recalled seeing in the leaves of Ponyville 11 days ago, the bright green of early spring. They passed another lone oak tree, a harbinger of what was coming. A horn began to tinkle. Hey, Dash said suddenly. Did the Dale Ponies really not know about Princess Luna coming back? They generally didn't seem to, Rarity said absently. It's just that Niles and his friends were going to deliver messages from Princess Celestia telling about Princess Luna, the Sky Blue Pegasus said. They were going all over the world, to different countries. But you'd think she was sent to the Glidedale first, right? Well, anybody she forgot? Or perhaps he wants to tell Lord Hammerhoof himself, Rarity said. Glidedale is a country of fellow ponies, after all. I could certainly see the princess wanting to deliver such important news of her own kind in the flesh. Neither of the others disputed this. They fell into silence again shortly after. Within an hour, they passed not a single tree, but a clump of them. A gaggle of asps sticking up from the grasses. Those grasses were changing. In between the golden blades, pale green shoots were emerging, along with the occasional flower. A beautiful white rose bush appeared off to her right, rushing by in an instant. And Applejack slowed to a walk. A great wall of the shimmer rose rose high before them, less than a half a mile away. Verity drew level with the orange earth pony. What's wrong? Verity asked. I can feel it now, Applejack said. Her voice betrayed unusual fear. I can feel it coming up through my hooves. Is that... She looked at Rarity, her green eyes wavering. Was that magic I'm feeling? Yes, Rarity said with a nod. I've been feeling it for almost an hour now. It's a test in my horn, the feeling I always get when I'm surrounded strong magic. Yeah, I can feel it, Rainbow Dash said, coming up on Applejack's other side. It's mostly in my wings. I'm still not sure this is a good idea, Applejack said. We got no idea what's in there. Lord Hammerhoof said it wasn't dangerous, Rarity reminded her. The opponent's got a different sense of what's dangerous than we do, if you recall, Applejack said. But they're also more wary of magic than we are, Verity said. If they don't fear it, we shouldn't either. Applejack's ears flying against her head. Applejack, please, Verity said. All this trip, we trusted in your judgment, but you haven't led us astray. Please now, trust me. I promise I won't lead you astray. Applejack looked down on the ground, where the green grass was quickly overtaking gold. Then she stopped walking entirely. Rarity and Rainbow Dash went a few steps further before they noticed. Stopped as well. They turned to look back at her. Applejack nodded forward. Lead on, Rarity. Dash gave Rarity a hopeful smile. Walked backwards, filling the gap between the white unicorn and Applejack. Rarity looked ahead. For the first time, there was no pony leading her. This way, she said, looking back over her shoulder. She accelerated to a trot, her friends following behind. It was barely mid-morning. and the last short distance passed quickly, even at their easy pace. Rarity scanned the forest for a suitable entrance. In between two great trees, oaks more massive than any she had seen before. Dry, dead leaves of dull brown and pale orange covered the ground. Small plants and shrubs shooting up beneath the shadows of the forest canopy. There was a faint whisper of wind from deep amidst the trees. The white unicorn increased her pace gently. The three ponies passed beneath the canopy's shadow. The sun in the golden fields shaded for the first time in nearly a week. Her front hoof crunched on the dead leaves and sunk into the loamy soil. Another step, and she was in. Rainbow Dash followed her. Then, with some hesitance, Applejack. They had left Glidetail behind at last. Rarity peered ahead, looking for a path. Her sensitive skin could feel the air currents wrapping gently around the tall trees, the soft breezes that whispered around the branches of dark oaks and white ashes. Sunlight filtered in through the gaps in the canopy, splashing the floor with green gold light. Rarity's horn was almost itching now. Magic hanging in the air between the trees surpassed anything she had felt. She could almost see it. Ripple-like heat through the empty space. Her magic circuit was alive, power racing in and out of it, sending tremors down her spine. She could smell the magic. She could touch it, even taste it. A sticky sweetness at the back of her throat. "Anyone else say something funny?" Applejack asked, her voice barely more than a whisper. "I can't," Rarity said, stomping and turning around. "It's magic. A great deal of magic. This is more magic than I've ever felt in one place." "Can you see a way for us to go through it?" Rainbow Dash asked, glancing past Rarity. Rarity turned around again. They had come about 100 feet into the forest. Ahead of her, she could see perhaps a way further in. But it was narrow, shrouded in darkness. Every path that seemed initially to be straight was at some point blocked by a great tree, or else a shrub or hanging vines that made the way uncertain. "I suppose there might be a way forward," the white unicorn admitted, "but it could be a bit roundabout." "In other words, no straight path," Applejack said, her voice regaining some confidence. "Sorry, Rarity, but we can't waste time. There's no easy way through. We gotta turn around and send Rainbow on her way." She easily resumed leadership again. Brandy was deeply frustrated. She felt certain they needed to go through the forest. Yet no easy path presented itself. Applejack's argument was sound. "I suppose you're right," she admitted. "I'm terribly sorry about all this." "Think nothing of it," Yarnsdorf finally said. "We were following the hunts. I respect that. But we gotta do what we gotta do." She turned back towards the exit. Her golden fields of Glidetail shone in the sun between the gaps in the trees. "You should probably go ahead and give us back your—" She trailed off. A tingle was crawling up her backbone. "Okay, do y'all feel that?" Rainbow Dash trailed off. "I can definitely feel something." "It's more magic," Rarity said, turning around and around, trying to spot a source beyond the blazing sensation in her horn. "It's more concentrated." She closed her eyes, focusing on her horn. She set on a pulse of century magic. A low-strength, long-range telekinetic grab. It passed over, and through everything 4 feet around her. She could feel more magic in its path, and more than that. She opened her eyes. "I don't believe I alone." I was like a Rainbow Dash began to turn in circles of their own, scanning the hazy half-shadows for some sign of movement. Turning straight ahead, Alsac found herself recalling Ashtiel, and his proud insistence that an earth pony standing firm could not be moved. She dug her hooves into the soft earth, grinding them as far down as she could, while she gritted her teeth with determination. No pony noticed the 3 apples of her key mark begin to glow on either side. Her eyes widened. "I see it!" she yelled, drawing back at a jump. "What? See what?" Des cried, leaping to her side. "Just for a second, just now, I saw something," Alsac cried, her heart hammering from the shock. "It was something hazy. Couldn't rattle a tail, but it was walking on 4 legs." Growling, Rainbow Dash fluttered around in a burst of wings, landing hard in front of Rarity and Applejack. She raised her wings high. Crackles of electricity flashed through her feathers, while a thin line of lightning sparked out between the leading edges of her wings. "All right, show yourselves!" she cried. "We know you're here. Come out!" The forest was silent for a moment, save the buzzing of Dash's lightning. It was, come to think of it, entirely too quiet. Stay your thunderbolts, Pegasus. A gentle voice spoke from the shadows. We mean you no harm. With a bellious sound they shimmered into sight, one after another, like strings piped on a harp. First one, then two, then four, then eight, standing in front of and around the three ponies. Long, graceful legs stepped daintily through the underbrush towards them, not disturbing it in the slightest. Lean torsos, golden brown, wrangled slightly upwards. Long, slender necks craned in the direction. Long, tapering heads ended in white muzzles and dark noses, sniffing the air gently. The three ponies were circled slowly, affording them glimpses of short tails, golden brown on top, shockingly white on the bottom, crawling under the thighs to become their white bellies. Atop their heads, long ears tapered delicately into points. Large eyes with pupils of vibrant hues stared down keenly. And above those eyes, spreading like polished branches, pale gray antlers stared out, curved up, and forked into sharp tines. Oh! I'm sorry, we seem to have walked right into Lothorian. Because there are wood elves. Oh, bugger.